Hey guys, what is up? OJ here, and welcome to the Insane Mode Guide, where you will be learning everything that you need to know about Insane Mode and how to effectively go through each level in this 10-part series. In this part though, you will be learning about how to effectively go through the levels Barbarian Boss, Forest Entrance, and Thieves Forest. MoTiioNz will also be collaborating with me in the guide, and don't forget to check his channel out. But anyway, to make things fairly balanced, there will be 3 types of skill levels that will be mentioned throughout the series, so we can recommend things based on how experienced you are. This also takes into account how consistent you are at juggling, as well as how good you are at certain things, like dodging, flying, crowd control, and magic control. So with that being said, the first skill level is Novice. A novice is someone who is rather poor in all or most of these categories and can be really inconsistent at juggling. The second skill level is Intermediate and is decent in all or most of these categories, as well as being a little inconsistent at juggling but still better than Novice. And the last one is Expert, which is fairly good at all or most of these categories, and being very consistent at juggling.
You will now be fighting your second boss, also known as Husky Barbarian, which is on the level Barbarian Boss. At the start of the level, Beefy Barbarian will try to battle you, but Husky Barbarian will instead try to defeat you and ends up killing Beefy Barbarian. You'll be fighting only one wave of enemies, and the one wave just includes the boss himself. Normal barbarians will jump in the battle to help Husky Barbarian, so watch out for that. Also, since there is only one wave, this is the hardest part of the level. Husky Barbarian will spawn up to 2 barbarians to help him out. Only one normal barbarian will spawn when only a little bit of his health is gone, but 2 will spawn if the Husky Barbarian's health is low. Barbarian Boss is fairly easy, and therefore the setup for this level won't really matter. But since the level is a little harder than the previous ones, the setup will matter more on this level. Here are some setups I recommend using for this level. For Novice, Chainsaw with Spiny or Hawkster. For Intermediate, Mancatcher with Spiny, and for Expert, NG Goldsword / Gold Skullmace with Snoop. The strategy for this level is to spam your splash magic on the boss with quick reflexes, dodge the attacks Husky Barbarian does by moving up or down away from them. A common mistake some players make is by trying to run horizontally away from the attack. The boss can hit you if you do this method. So instead you should walk vertically away from the attack so that way you can avoid being hit. However, some splashes aren't really effective against this boss, so instead I recommend doing the LLHH juggle instead. It's also important to know that you cannot hit Husky Barbarian if you attack it on its back. And that's because he has a shield protecting his back.
This level will consist of 4 waves, with each wave consisting of barbarians and thieves. These two groups are lightweight enemies, well, except for the beefy thief on wave 2, which is actually a lightweight beefy. The amount of enemies for this level will increase for each player that is in the game for wave 2 and wave 4. However, the amounts of enemies for wave 1 and wave 3 though will stay the same. With that being said, wave 1 will have 3 thieves, wave 2 will have 5 barbarians, and 1 lightweight thief beefy. This will also be the hardest wave in a level, and that is because of the lightweight beefy, from which you might need to perform the lightweight beefy juggle. If there are 2 players though, there will be 8 enemies. For 3 players, 14 enemies, and 4 players, 16 enemies. Wave 3 will have 6 thieves, and wave 4 will also have 6 thieves, along with 9 enemies for 2 players, and 15 enemies for both 3 and 4 players. All of the enemies in this level are lightweight enemies, except for the lightweight beefy thief in wave 2. It would be important to know how to do the lightweight light heavy juggle, so you can efficiently beat up the beefy. And the lightweight beefy can serve as good practice for the lightweight beefy juggle, which is light heavy, light heavy light jump, light heavy. It's not mandatory to perform it for this beefy though, as it has low health, so you could simply do a few strings of light heavy instead to kill it. The type of weapons and animal orbs you choose to use for this level won't really matter because of its small amount of waves, but just like every other level, I will give you a list of equipment you could use. For Novice, for Novice, for Novice we have the Necromancer sword and the chainsaw with Spiny or Huckster. Both of these weapons provide a great bonus to defense and are good for those that get hit a lot. And the pets will increase your chances of surviving. For intermediate, we have the dual prong sword, man catcher, or the demon sword with Spiny or Snoot. These weapons and animal orbs will be good for people that like having a decent amount of defense and strength. And for expert, we have just a gold skull mace and either Snoot or Spiny for players that just want all-out strength, with the choice of either a defense boost from Spiny or a strength boost from Snoot. Now for the level. Wave 1 should be completed by performing the lightweight juggle. For wave 2, there will be a lightweight beefy, so you have 2 choices, with the first option being to perform the lightweight beefy juggle. The second option would be to do a few strings of light attacks, or the regular lightweight juggle. After you have defeated the beefy, you can go ahead and lightweight juggle the rest of the enemies. Do the lightweight juggle again for wave 3. And this should be pretty simple. Straightforward, because you already got through the hardest wave of the level now. And then do the lightweight juggle again for wave 4. Let's go. On to Thieves Forest.
Thieves Forest is a level where people usually struggle on when they first encounter this level on insane mode. The hardest part of this level will be the boss at the very end of the stage, also known as the Troll Mother, and this part is quite difficult, so I suggest stocking up potions because of this. This level will consist of 11 waves. Wave 1 will have 1 enemy, Wave 2 will have 0 enemies, Wave 3 will have 4 enemies, Wave 4 will have 7 enemies, Wave 5 will have 0 enemies, Wave 6 will have 6 enemies, Wave 7 will have 4 enemies, Wave 8 will have 0 enemies, Wave 9 will have 1 enemy, Wave 10 will have 3 enemies, Wave 11 will be a boss fight. The number of enemies in each wave per player doesn't change for this level. Your setup will definitely matter on this level, depending on your skill level, so I'll provide some setups I recommend using. For Novice, chainsaw with Rammy, Spiny, or Hawkster. For intermediate, Mancatcher with Spiny or Snoot. Rammy is a good pet for Novice players on this level because it allows you to escape situations where you're holding your shield but you're stuck between a group of trolls. For wave 1, lightweight juggle thief using LLHH. Wave 2 is just a cutscene. Wave 3 will be slightly harder than Wave 1. Novice players tend to struggle a little bit on these next few waves. It is important to start practicing the lightweight juggle from this point forward. Also, a good tip is not to go for the neutral characters first since they could be a little hard to hit. Try juggling the assist characters or the lead character first, then catch the rest in the same juggle. Also, Wave 4 has the same tips as Wave 3. Wave 5 is also a cutscene. For Wave 6, you will also be using the same strategies as Wave 3 and Wave 4, but with 2 extra tips added onto it. You should stay away from standing on the river, since it will decrease your movement speed. Using Seahorse can eliminate this con, however, Seahorse isn't a viable option to use. Also, it's best if you avoid juggling towards the low ground since you can easily lose your juggle. For Wave 7, it's your choice whether or not to activate all 4 enemies at once, but you will be using the same strategies as Wave 3, Wave 4, and Wave 6. Wave 8 is also a cutscene just like Wave 2 and Wave 5. For Wave 10, you should use the same strategies as Wave 3, 4, 6, and 7. Don't get too confident yet because now you will be fighting the Troll Mother for Wave 11, and it is the hardest part, of the level where people tend to struggle a lot if they don't know how to juggle and move around the map properly. This boss is easier to beat with friends, but I will give you tips and tricks to kill this boss easily. So there are two forms that this boss has that you have to know about. Two forms are the normal phase and the running phase. The normal phase lasts for about 60% of his health, and in this phase the troll mother will not run away when you hit it. The running phase will begin about when 60% of his health has been depleted and only about 40% remain. Anytime he takes damage in this phase, he will run away and is invulnerable for about half a second. The only attack this boss does is trying to summon trolls to kill you. Now for the strategies for Troll Mother. Since the Troll Mother it's in normal phase where it doesn't run away for about 60% of his health, you should use the drill combo, which is a ground combo, and the requirement of the combo is level 50 and the third magic upgrade. And to use the combo, use LLLHH on the ground while hitting an enemy. You should be hitting the Troll Mother as fast as possible so the trolls don't flood the entire screen. You do end up having to deal with a lot of trolls. Now is the time where you should learn how to lightweight juggle more than ever now. Alternatively, if you have a good splash, you can also use that instead if you want. Using a splash can be a little safer. You need to be juggling the little trolls and get rid of them. Also, another thing is to save up the meat in the chest for when your health is really low. If you successfully made it through normal phase, now is the time you should focus because this is the hardest of the two in this fight. It will help for you to have good movements for this fight. What you want to do is magic jump the Troll Mother, and then once you've reached the peak of that magic jump, press L and land on top of the Troll Mother, then repeat this process. It is important to press L at the peak of your magic jump so you won't hit anything. If you hit something while doing this, it will make you fall to the ground a lot slower, and this can increase your chances of a troll hitting you. If you do end up hitting an enemy, find a safe space and place to land away from the Troll Mother, then start doing the method again. I hope this clears it up for you. This boss may take a few tries, and the lower the skill level, the more attempts it might take you.
Congrats! You have made it to the end of part 3 of the Crashers Insane Guide. With these levels covered, you should have a general idea of how to effectively beat them, as well as the things that you need to know. So with that being said, we wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you in the next part. Stay frosty.